Communication training with Dan O'Connor.
Everybody, it's Dan O'Connor with Dan O'Connor Training, and I think it's time for Ask
Gotta
Dan.
have a talk soon, don't want to sound like a goon.
You got to.
Ask Dan.
Sarah writes, I've been seeking a word to replace what to me is a danger phrase, the word wow. I keep saying it, though as soon as I do, my ears cringe. That's quite a trick. Any ideas? Sarah, yes, I have the answer for you. First of all, don't be too hard on yourself. There are a lot of people that I know who have a word that they say a lot, such as, oh my goodness, that's what I tend to say. And when people think of you, or people are imitating you, for example, in a good way, and they say things like, oh, Sarah, wow, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, if you are known for being exuberant, that's okay. However, with that said, if you do want to purge that word because let's say you have been practicing your communication skills and you're listening to yourself, which, by the way, if you aren't doing that, it's the best way, because watching yourself on video or listening to yourself on tape is torture. It's one of the most difficult things that we can do, and it immediately helps us purge the things that we want to purge, because it's such torture listening to it that you will remember. So if that's what you're doing, or if you already know it's torture for me to hear myself say wow, remember visual cues truly are key. And I've mentioned that before in my videos, and I know that you watch them, so thank you, Sarah. If you put it out on a list, I think as a matter of fact, you had asked me, yes you did, for a danger phrase and power phrase list. And I recommend printing up my template, but it's a real simple T-chart. You just put a big letter T on a piece of paper. On the left-hand side, you put danger. On the right-hand side, you put power. And if you kept that out and available so that you saw the word wow on a danger phrase list sitting in front of you all day long, it dramatically increases the odds that you'll start purging that from your verbal repertoire. And what I recommend you do is start stopping when you're about to say wow. Stop and think, what am I saying wow about? What is it? Is it, I'm looking at a picture that's beautiful? Then say that instead of the wow. Describe what it is that you're finding to be so impressive. For example, if somebody did a great job, let's go back to the picture. If somebody shows you a beautiful picture, instead of simply saying, wow, you could say, that is beautiful photography. The lighting is incredible. Or let's say that somebody did a great job. Instead of, like if I were to say to you, Sarah, come look at the stand that I made for the trade show, and you were to see it, instead of saying, wow, think to yourself at that moment, because you know there is this sliver in time between event and response. There's this sliver in time between when you're witnessing something that's impressing you and the words that come out of your mouth. And if you have taken the time to write down that wow is a danger phrase, and you put it in front of you so that your brain can visually see it, because your brain sees it, not your eyes, then you're much more likely in that sliver in time to remember, wait a minute, I'm supposed to comment on what is making me want to say wow. For example, if you were to look at my trade show display and think, wow, that's awesome. Instead, why would you think, wow, that's awesome? And try something like this. You put a lot of work into that. You really spent a lot of time. That is the most creative booth I've ever seen. You know, things like that. If you were to watch a great movie at the end of it, that was so well directed. I can't believe the casting people chose those people, the writer chose those words. You know what I mean? So in that sliver in time, if you start getting used to stopping and thinking, what is making me say wow? And then saying that, I'm noticing, you know, is this something you wouldn't say, but I'm noticing you really spent a lot of time. You really invested a lot of time in your children. You really worked hard on that. That is a fantastic use of light and color. You know, whatever it is that is making you say wow, state that. And if you have the visual cue out to remind you to do that, it'll increase the odds that you will do that, and you will notice quickly that verbal pattern will be purged, and people will start recognizing you as somebody who is a savvy communicator, but they won't know why. You know what I mean? It's those people who learn to do things the right way. You know, it's like when you it's like, I don't want to say when you rode a bike because that's so cliche, but if you use the computer, you may have forgotten that there was a time when you did not know how to use the keyboard, but I'm sure that now you just go and you type away without really thinking about it. And if somebody who had never used a keyboard saw you do that, they would say, wow, Or if they'd practice their communication skills, they'd say something such as, "You really do that quickly." And people don't know, what is it about Sarah that makes her such a savvy communicator that when I communicate with her, it has such an impact on me. But it will be those little things, because everybody has these verbal repertoires that we fall back on, you know, our wows, or our, oh my goodness, or our, I think that's better. Those little words that we could replace with the reason it's better. You know, for example, I think maybe you've seen this video where at work, instead of saying, "Yeah, I think I like that idea better," we could say something such as, "That appears to be a more customer-focused solution to me." And all I'm doing is thinking to myself, okay, purge the word, or purge the phrase, "I think," and purge the phrase "better," and instead say why it's better. Oh, it's more customer-focused, or it's more economical. I believe that appears to be a more economical solution for the challenge that we're currently facing. You know, when you start to just do those little tiny things, that's what it's really about, because those little things clarify the message that you're sending with laser precision, and you will be seen and you will feel like a much more confident, savvy, polished communicator. So I hope that that helps Sarah, and keep watching these videos. I'm sure you've subscribed if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you next time here at Dan O'Connor Training. And again, for everybody watching this, I'll put a link to the template where I have a danger phrase and power phrase list started below, so that you can click on that and download that, print it out, and enjoy that for yourself. And the other resources that are on my site, make sure to check those out while you're at danoconnortraining.com. If you have not yet subscribed to the site, make sure to subscribe to it, share this video and like it, or don't like it, tell me why in the comments, and leave your comments, and I'll try to respond to as many as I can as soon as I can. I'm getting more of a handle on them. Along with, if you send in a video question, I will respond with a video answer. So everybody, this is Dan O'Connor with Dan O'Connor Training. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Dan O'Connor with Dan O'Connor Training. Blech. You're right. Hi everybody. Like to say